What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Weird and Whatever podcast. How the hell are you guys doing?
Good. Glad to be back.
that went smooth.
Riveting.
Vicki, how are you doing?
I'm good. Considering the fact I'm dead, I'm doing great.
Did you cut your shoulder? Why do you have blood on it?
Oh, I was murdered earlier.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I think I told everybody. We are doing a movie called Victims Galore. We do have a premiere date. October 28th.
Yep, Saturday.
Yes, we'll give you more details as it comes. But yeah, the 28th around 5:30 p.m. And yeah, everyone here in the Weird and Whatever, they do die.
Ooh, and you can catch it early and then still go out.
Yeah, look at that.
So Perfect evening.
How are you guys doing? Anything new in your life?
Just getting ready for horse show season.
Okay.
Work again and going to Africa on an anti-poaching campaign.
Okay. All right. I have a bunch of friends that are doing that.
Nothing too weird.
Yeah, nothing.
How does that even come up in a conversation? Like, dude, I'm going out to this thing to protect elephants.
It's a long story. My buddy has a foundation in Mozambique, and it's a nonprofit thing. And I agreed to it way back in August. And then I learned more that we're actually in training, and it's like ranger training. And
this thing.
I
think Bitch Boy's going to get effed up.
I find that the region of Botswana and possibly Zaire with their...
You're going to have to get like 90 shots.
Yeah.
Then you have to do like a whole package of them.
Get malaria pills and everything.
Wow. That's crazy. Vicki, anything new with you?
Well, I'm a proud band mom. I do have to give a shout out to the Park Vista Performers, who are 5 years in a row undefeated in South Florida. And the weekend of the 28th, unfortunately, we will be, because I'll miss the premiere, but we are going to BOA, Bands of America, in Atlanta. And we are hoping to make the finals.
Well, good luck to you guys. So let's go ahead and jump right in it. Denny's, I'm sorry. You're doing great. You look handsome. I wanted to
Mount down granola.
I did want to talk to you guys about, especially you, Vicki. Someone wants to know, do the undead show themselves more during Halloween? Is this where it's their Super Bowl?
No. I haven't noticed any increase in activity. We've done experiments, according to the moon phases and all that kind of stuff and different things. It's like if something's there, it's there, and it's going to make itself known. We
did have somebody email the show and say they wanted to have a psychic off with you. Like, I could totally take Vicki and a psychic off. Let's do this thing. Will you take that chance?
Well, it depends. If somebody's going to benefit from it, then I'll do it.
Okay.
Because I don't do what I do for show.
Okay.
I do what I do to help people. So if there's going to be the end result, somebody gets helped, then yeah.
You're at a party. There's a psychic there, thinking they're a hot glass of hot
soup. The room clears.
Yeah, they think they're just amazing. They're telling their psychic story. Everyone in the party, they are just eating their shit up, and then they're kind of talking down to you. Like Vicki doesn't know what she's talking about. Do you represent?
I probably would be fascinated by them myself, and I would ask for a reading.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You go out like such an adult. I mean,
well, no, I would. I would be fascinated if they really are that good. I'd be fascinated.
Okay.
Hit with water right to the face.
Listen, if I don't respect other psychics, how can I expect someone to respect me?
Oh, mere just a just a possibility. If that was to happen, I would like to see how you would,
But I probably would be sitting in the corner smug for a while going, yeah, whatever.
Because I think...
But I would be polite.
I think everybody talks a little bit of shit, about...
About things they're good at or they feel that they're adept at.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Becky, what's one thing that you're really good at that you would talk a little shit about, like, that guy, I don't know about that.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes? you nailed the dad jokes, huh?
Nailed the dad jokes.
How do you know when a joke becomes a dad joke?
How?
It's apparent.
Like it.
It's a tough room, Denny's.
Yeah, they're made to be.
Do you know
bad.
what you call a guy with a good dad bod?
What?
Father figure.
Nice.
Okay, we must stop this right now.
We're losing listeners by the second.
So, do you guys celebrate Halloween? Are you a costume person or no?
I like it. I think this is the first year that I'm excited to be on the other side of it. I'm excited to be at the house and have trick-or-treaters come up.
That actually a lot of fun. I like to dress up.
It's not bad. You put on a movie.
Yeah, you put on a movie, you eat some candy, and yeah, you scare the shit out of little kids that come to your door.
Yeah.
No, I would never do that. But I do love Halloween. Halloween's probably my favorite.
It's up there for me
holiday.
as well. I feel as I've gotten older, I don't celebrate it as much just because, how life is. You get busy. But I want to get back into it. I celebrated it really hard for like a decade.
Worst Halloween candy. Okay, you're 10-year-old Vicki. You're knocking on the door.
I can even tell you who gave it to me.
Bring it. Call them out.
The Darlingtons every year would buy that stupid peanut butter candy wrapped in orange and black wrappers that cost them $1 way back then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
those
some,
are weak.
It's like bullshit butterscotch taffy. Is
And
that
you
the
have
one
to
you're-
peel the wrapper
It's just
off
peanut
it.
butter. It was like peanut butter, and they were always wrapped in orange and
Orange
black
and black,
wrappers.
yeah.
Oh, they were horrible.
But they're not. It's low budget peanut butter. It's not the good
oh no,
stuff.
no, yeah,
It's peanut butter flavor.
Beckett has no idea what we're talking about because we're talking about
crappy can.
We're talking about something that's candy. He's like, what's candy? I eat healthy stuff.
Believe it or not, when I was a kid, my worst is apples.
Yeah,
Weird enough, I totally think that's true.
Yeah.
a candy
apples?
apple.
No, just
Just
like
regular
a legit
apple?
apple.
Damn.
I never had anybody give me an apple.
But remember, and then they had razors in the apples.
That
and
was
it became
a
like a
rumor.
big problem. And
Mr. Beckett.
That story rocked the world.
Thank you for bringing that up. I brought that up on the air, and I think half the people didn't know what the hell I was talking about. When I was a little kid, my mom was scared shitless that I was going to get a razor blade in the apple, or they had like glass in the Snickers. They had all kind of crazy stuff going on back. It was like back in '83, Denny's.
Yeah. Well, it probably happened once in an apple, and then everyone else the good news, bad news is no one gave out apples anymore.
Well, because they're a shitty Halloween treat.
It is.
Come on, apple.
Well, that's actually an urban legend that stemmed from that man. I believe he was in, I want to say, Texas, who had those, those pixie stick things, and he filled his sons up with poison.
Oh,
and so he was the one who actually poisoned his son. But of course, went trick or treating, went home, ate it, and of course, the dad tried to blame it on somebody else, but he poisoned his own kid, and that's where that first thing about poison candy came from.
Oh, wow, good, nice knowledge. You say that was out of Texas?
I think it was in Texas. I think
A lot of crazy
Was it
shit.
by the killing fields?
There's some serial killers that came out of Texas, I tell you. Isn't
They
Ed
have the
Gein?
killing fields where they found all those bodies.
Is Ed Gein? Is
Ed
he
Gein?
Gein? I mean, yeah. Is he Texas?
I don't think so.
no, wasn't he like Midwest?
Yeah.
I thought
Something like
I
that.
thought he was portrayed after Leatherface. I thought Leatherface was named after him.
Yeah, he's one of. They based the Texas Chainsaw, Psycho, and Silence of the Lambs all after Ed.
Okay, yeah. Do you know anything about serial killers, Beckett?
No.
You never
Yeah, I keep
dabbled?
on confusing with your band.
Oh, the Value Meal Killer. Yeah, no.
that doesn't interest you?
Serial killer?
Yeah. Or just people that mass murder in general?
Because what's crazy to me is there's always a serial killer out that's active.
At all times.
You catch one, there's always a new one. And I wonder, they always have that really weird stat about serial killers. There's only X amount that are going on in the nation right now. But they don't know for sure. What if you're really sly at being a serial
sure.
killer? There are people that are, I mean, just like we always talk about different levels and things, levels in being a psychic, there's levels in being a serial killer. If you're super smart and you want to murder, I mean, that's horrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they change their MO every time. They're not going to get identified as a serial killer.
Yeah, for sure.
The smart ones would obviously change
Break
up their
their
MO.
pattern.
They would not, they wouldn't do it in the same area. Horrifying. See, your friends say we don't talk about scary stuff. Well, we're talking about it.
So is serial killer that's one that has multiple occurrences rather than many deaths, right?
Serial
Right.
killer.
A mass murder is if they kill a lot of people all at the same time, and serial means it's victim after victim after victim.
And I think you have to have 3 or more, I believe,
To be serial.
to be a serial killer.
So it's I know it's still raw, but like the Vegas thing, like they haven't. I know it's still early in the Vegas investigation, but they haven't come up with a motive, and it's freaking everyone out because like.
Yeah, I remember that being a big thing. At the
There wasn't
top of
religion
it, too.
behind it, it doesn't seem like it's any of that stuff.
And we may not know for a while. I mean, there was one case that
And they
was,
probably want to make sure it's 100% right before they come out with it.
right.
yeah. I mean, there was one case where it was, I think, 18 months after, and they're just coming out with details on it. And everyone's like, "Well, we want answers." In today's world,
Well, like the clown murder, that woman, that came out like years later because they were like, They wanted to make sure they had definitive proof.
That was, yeah, an unsolved case. There's so many unsolved cases here in Palm Beach County.
Do you know what serial killer I did find really interesting is the Jinx? Did you guys watch the Jinx where they had the Durst guy who was the heir? And they did a documentary on him because this guy had been surrounded by death and he had been put on trial, but they never had any evidence or enough evidence, and it was just kind of weird situations. And he was latter in life, did an HBO documentary, and they didn't find the audio until they were cutting the audio. And after they pinned him on a handwriting thing, he went to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh!
Didn't know he was still hot mic'd again.
They got me. Oh my
they got
gosh!
Me.
They
know what you're onto, and blah blah blah. Like they're onto you, and
he gave a confession during the documentary,
talking to himself.
Yeah, it's insane. He actually gave himself up while they're filming the documentary about him murdering people.
That's truly fits his
he
name,
was
the Jinx.
He was. You could make a case a smart,
yeah,
well-funded serial killer that got out of his way, and then he was defending that. He said he was on heroin then. That's why he was talking to himself.
I mean, if you have power, you're smart, and you've got malice in your heart.
Oh, it's over.
Very creepy.
It's a recipe.
Let's break this down. Someone wants to know the answers on this. Would you guys be into costume role-playing in the bedroom for Halloween? Is that something you guys have been into, or is that just like a little too crazy for you? Someone wants to know. Bob from the Pizzle.
I think that's the one night to especially do it, right?
Have you ever got freaky with costumes?
I mean, left on from the evening, maybe a little acting out a character or two. But
I would like to know what costume character. Tell
I was
me what.
Groucho Marx.
Were you?
I turned it on, man. Yeah. What?
Can you please give us a little Groucho? What did it sound like?
Well, so I walk in and I'm like, hey, what's going on in here? I mean, I can't go too much into it. And
So clearly
I
she
don't want to
was-
share some. I know how to woo a chick.
So you really turned her on then, with that Groucho Marx. Vicki, you don't have to ask these weird questions if you don't want to.
I don't care. I would wear a costume.
Okay, have you?
No.
Okay, all right. You would though.
I would, yeah.
If
I'm
you
fine with
found
it.
a handsome gent, maybe he's into ghosts. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, I would love for you to
As
wear.
long as it's because we had this question before. As long as it's not an every time
No.
thing. With
No,
the,
he's like, hey, I'm gonna be Superman. You be Wonder Woman.
It's a full moon.
sure.
Yeah.
One night.
Thank you. Okay, Vicky, nice. All right, Beckett. What about you?
I don't think I've ever done costumes.
Really?
I know I sound vanilla now, don't I?
And this is the guy that loves robot sex.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested. Yeah.
But you would do it. You're not against that, or are you?
I'm definitely not against it. It kind of airs on a little cheesiness to me.
I get it.
Yeah.
I totally. I mean, if you wore a Batman suit, and you're like, hey, I want to take your clothes off. Yeah, I mean, it gets a little cheesy.
It gets a little cheesy. Cheesy kind of ruins the sexual mood, I think, a little bit.
I
love cheesy jokes, but in the bedroom,
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
get
mean,
you.
I get it.
I hear you. Let's do a quick would you rather. Would you rather turn your parents into cockroaches for the rest of their life? They will live until they're at least 110 years old. They will have the same brain and thought function as they did in the prime of their life. That's scenario number one. Or would you rather have a condition where you turn everyone you touch into a lizard person? Once they turn into said lizard person, they live a life full of pain, suffering, slowly turning into a lizard person themselves, riddled with pain and loneliness. You are required to touch at least 10 people a year.
But I get to pick the 10 people?
No. This has to be so hard for you to decide. And it could be loved ones you're turning into lizard people. Yeah, I know, it's a bombshell. Okay, I'm going to go with Mr. Denny's first.
So the cockroaches are happy though, or no?
No, they're cockroaches till they're 110. Would you be happy as a cockroach?
But I mean, they live a normal cockroach life, so I mean, they're probably not like plagued.
No,
with,
it would be like your parents right now, and they're
like, "Oh my God,
they're
they're
used to
running around."
texting and all this stuff, the Netflix. Now they're a roach until they're 110.
I would do the random people, even if it randomly picks a family member.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
You go with the.
I'd feel awful. I'd be turning into a lizard myself internally.
Okay, Vicky.
I'd have to go with the lizard thing.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, my mom's 82, and, I'd love for her to be around till she's that old, but not as a roach.
Okay, Mr. Beckett.
I don't know if I'm gonna take emotion out of it. I think I gotta go. I think I have to go parents into cockroaches
You turn them into roaches.
because it's 2 people compared to 10 a
10.
year for however
hear
long.
ya.
I mean,
live.
you infect a lot of lizard people.
7.
Wow, Vicky and Denny's are weird.
7 people.
Why
Okay.
you would go lizard people?
That's a tough one, man. Oh, because your parents in the prime of their life. My dad's like 35. He's like, what? I'm a roach? I think I turned people into lizards.
Really?
Yeah, I do. My parents a roach? That's tough, man.
That's real tough. I mean,
I don't know.
Jeez.
That's a tough one.
how does a person answer that?
You're right. I don't know.
Where do you come up with these? That's what I want to know.
I've always been a little off.
Okay.
Okay, someone got an email here.
Because that was pretty descriptive.
Yeah.
Went
Very
into-
detailed.
That
Went into
was,
clauses and all sorts of addendums.
well, the reason why there's so many clauses in there because I always know when these questions are asked, people try to get
There's
out of
some
them.
sort of thing that-
There's a loophole. There's no loopholes with that one. That's a loophole-less question. Here's an email. It's a little lengthy, but everyone wanted they want everyone's opinion on this. I want to believe in something, but I'm faithless. I want to believe in God, but I don't. My best friend got a new job, and the first thing she said was, God is good. He helped get that job for me today. I told her, no, you got that job. God did not. You did it yourself. She tells me that I don't believe in God, so that's why I don't see the blessings in my life. Basically saying, if I want things in my life to go well, I need to pray and believe in God. I didn't say anything. I just let it roll off my back, but for some reason it really bothered me. I believed in God very much, and then my mom died of cancer. That was 20 years ago. I want to be like my friend and have faith and believe in the afterlife, but I just can't. How can I get faith when I don't believe in it? And there's more, obviously, to that email. It was a very heartfelt email. That's why because they're really struggling. They go on to say they go to church. They listen to lectures. They want to believe badly, but at the end of the night, they're feeling empty and they feel bad about not having any faith in anything. What they want to know, what can they do to deal with that? Vicki, you want to go first?
I mean, the first thing that comes off the top of my head is I wonder, have they ever had a reading from someone who sees into the other side? Maybe if they had some information from a loved one that might bring their faith back, especially the one they lost 20 years ago.
Sure.
Maybe that will, do something, spark something. But I do believe everyone should believe in something. But I think a lot of times we try to push our beliefs on other people. And we need to figure out what we believe ourselves.
Because everyone is different. I mean, what me and Becky could watch the same lecture and completely get
two different things from it.
Yeah, it happens all the time. You see it on social media all the time. If you, oh boy, almost spilled that. Thank God there's a cup or a thingy. If you had to give some advice to that, Becky, what would you say? Do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, religion's tough.
And they made sure they said, part of the email, this isn't about religion. It's more about spiritualism.
Right. Well, that's one of the things I enjoy about this podcast is I think that we talk about paranormal, we talk about, afterlife and everything, but it kind of brings in a spiritual side. Like I also wish I was more spiritual. So I try to be more open to that into my life. So I found it interesting when Denizs explained how his parents raised him, which is relatively unconventional. Could
you, just in case someone missed that, could you give a brief summary of what you liked about that?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Denizs, but they basically allowed him to forge his own path in religion. They said, hey, like, we're not going to tell you to be Christian, Jewish, atheist. Here's kind of like a way to investigate all these different religions, and then you decide. Because a lot of people like whatever sports team, religion, whatever they are, because their parents did that and their grandparents did that. And that belief by osmosis, or by inheriting it, it doesn't ring as true to me that someone had an experience, whether they were an alcoholic or they, went through something in their life and they became that way. And I think that's more sticky in their belief in their faith. And I agree also with what Vicki says. I think everyone needs to believe in something. The Freemasons in the ancient society of our forefathers were involved in, and, a bunch of amazing thought. Their one requirement, pretty much their only prerequisite, is so you have to believe in a higher power. And say you have to be Christian or whatever, or Jewish or whatever, but you can believe anything so long as it's a higher power. And like we talked about on the show, if you believe in science and you understand like the vastness of the universe, I think it's ignorant and arrogant to think that it's just us. So,
For sure.
So I would say, like, we're not doctors, so we wouldn't give medical advice. We're not faith experts. So I think the Denizs Parent approach is probably good for that kind of person. Just go out and investigate. Talk to spiritual leaders, talk to different people in different faiths and religions, see what happens.
Yeah, and the one thing I would add, too, I think sometimes people feel bad by the way they feel. Like, for example, I knew someone that they could get their feelings hurt really quick. And when someone would say something, it wasn't even that over the top. They get their feelings hurt. And then just the feeling of them getting their feelings hurt, that would get them down. Like, oh, such a wuss. My feelings are blah, blah, blah. Don't ever get upset or feel bad about your feelings. I don't think you can help how you feel something. You can't help on how you react to that. Right. If I'm jealous, if I'm dating a girl and I get jealous, and deep down, I mean, it's at a 10. If I'm able to harness that and put it into something else and maybe bring that down to a 2 when I talk to her, it's really all about approach, is it not?
Well, everybody wants to be validated, too.
They do.
One of my pet peeves is, like, if you're having a bad day and someone says, well, there's people worse off than you. Well, right at that moment, you need someone to say, I understand you're down, you're having troubles right now. It'll get better, but acknowledge the fact that I feel that way.
It's the worst thing to say to somebody, because as humans, at least this is my opinion, your worst day, whatever that is, that's your perspective. That's the only thing you know. There's only one Ryan Beckett. So you see the world through your set of eyes, your feelings. That's your world. That's all you know. So when someone says someone's good or worse off than you, you can comprehend that, but you're not going to really get that because you only know your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not your world.
Exactly.
The suffering that happens every day across the ocean is uncomparable to what we have to deal with daily.
Yeah, there's a Nat King Cole song. I'm gonna break it down real old. It's called, I believe, "If It Happened to You," and it's such a true thing. People don't get mad at something, or they don't experience, anger or pain until it happens to you. Oh, suck it up, Beckett. I may not know what you're going through until it happens to me. You're like, that's why it's tough to always judge every situation. Yeah. And we as humans do it all the time. I do it all the time. I'm a hypocrite. I get it. I think we're all hypocrites, though. Are we not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denizs, do you have anything to add to that? Because believe it or not, they actually said, I would really like to hear from Denizs on that.
So I think if you're not going to believe in anything, you should at least believe in yourself. Because I feel like from improving yourself, the esteem will get you to a point to where you can then try to figure out something that you want to follow, at least through a life path.
That's a great point. I think so many times we try to make everything go
around us change.
Yeah, just on one, on one go at it, and everything does, man. Especially if you're working on, something mental that's blocking or something you're going through with your thoughts. It's not going to change overnight. You gotta give yourself a little bit of time, and I think that's great. Keep reading, keep talking to people. Maybe do something like Vicki said. Get a reading or something.
Yeah, enjoy the process. Like, some people that are really motivated and successful are never happy because they're always looking for that next thing. And I try. It's one of my biggest issues. I'm always trying to look how to better myself or make the business better or improve myself as a person. And sometimes I have to check myself. I'm like, well, you need to enjoy now. Like these things, whether it's arbitrary goals or material items, like you can't find happiness in that. You got to be happy in the process.
Yeah, I think it's one of the hardest things for humans to do is to live in the now. Yeah. Always thinking about the past or afraid of the future. I mean, I sound like Yoda over here. Never your mind, or whatever he says.
They say if you live in the past, you will be depressed. If you live in the future, you will be anxious.
Agreed. If I'm thinking 2 weeks, that breeds anxiety. If I'm pining for the old days and I'm like, oh, she was the best, you're depressed.
Yeah.
It's the easiest hard thing to do.
It is. It's
to
the hardest.
live in the now. It's so tough, man.
It is. Yeah.
And they've got those gurus that know how to do that. At least they claim they do. How would we ever know?
For sure.
I mean, I would love to see the biggest spiritual guru and really get inside their head and see if it's so peaceful in there.
Yeah.
Do they have weird thoughts?
Oh, guaranteed.
Do they write weird would you rather questions? There has been, to break it over to the UFO section, a lot of emails from people who are now people here locally. There is a type of UFO that's going on. It's a shape-shifting UFO, and it is sweeping across the entire globe. What it is you look up in the sky, and it looks like it's hovering, and then It will dart down, change colors.
I've seen these.
They are so popular right now, and they are popping up everywhere, and then they will just disappear. They'll be floating, no clouds around, gone. We've had 2 people here in South Florida that emailed the show. That's why I brought it up. That have seen them down here. Now I know we live in the space area because a lot of times they'll be launching shit over there.
Sure.
But they're showing up in Pennsylvania. They're showing up in India. They're showing up everywhere. What do you guys think? Military UFOs, or are these legit aliens? Vicky, what do you got?
How big are they supposed to be?
I mean, so picture yourself on the beach looking up. It's going to be like an everlasting gobstopper.
This guy.
I mean, it's probably large enough to, like, is it like a 1-man, 2-man, 3-man craft?
I would say no. It's definitely bigger than that. So if you're watching KV or watching the Weird and Whatever TV, it would go like this. It would be floating.
It'd be big enough to cause, like...
Yeah, it would dip down. It would go this way. It would change shapes. I mean, it's
I've seen a couple videos on the internet. I mean, they're getting so good these days with the computer graphics.
I know, man. It really is sad because, I mean, I love this stuff, and I want legit...
Oh, I remember the first time I saw that. I was like, oh, my God, it's amazing. And then computer.
Back in like 2008, I would bring in all of these UFO videos, and this is when I didn't know they were fake. Oh, man. I would be on the air. No, guys, you got to see this shit. It's amazing. CGI.
But that's the problem. So many fake ones out there. You can't even tell. And when you see one that you think's convincing, there's something weird wrong with it. Like it's in the corner of the screen or the color's off. It's like...
Would you be freaked out if aliens wanted to take you on board? Would you go? I might have asked you that before.
I'd go.
You would go?
Mm-hmm.
For a year? You come back in a year.
In Earth time in 1 year?
Earth time 1 year. For you, it would be a year.
Be tough.
Jen doesn't know where you're at.
I can't do that too.
I might have asked you that before.
Yeah, I think I declined it. Although I'd be very curious.
I go. I think I go, man. I really do. I think if aliens came and said, we want you for a year and we're going to do everything to you. I think I'm going, man.
Everything.
Do you go?
It depends how the invite is.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Beckett. We loved you on The Bachelorette.
Are they robots or aliens?
Now I know they're lying.
We love your hair. You're right. Why am I a robot? How would an alien talk? Oh yeah, that doesn't sound like a robot. That sounds like a robot too.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like an alien. Like
What if they walked off the ship? I was single, and they were all like Victoria's Secret supermodels, and they're like, "Hey, like."
They have wings. They have a tail. They have horns. They have fangs.
I'm not going.
You're not going.
No. Does that make me shallow?
Well, you make it too easy. If it's Victoria's Secret models, that's way too easy.
And you would still, a spaceship came down with Victoria's Secret models, and they're like, all right, you got to get on. You would get on? Like, you don't think that's suspicious?
I think it makes it more likely.
Okay, you have a good point. If a ship came down and it was full of Victoria's Secret models, that's shady to me.
I'm like, dude, this is obviously a prank.
It's
or
a
some
trap.
Sort. Yeah, it's a trap.
But isn't that the
sort.
ending scene of Dumb and Dumber?
I guess it is, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a movie.
There's a town full of guys right over that way.
Oh, with the Hawaiian Tropics Ocean.
I don't need Victoria's Secret models to get on that thing. I really don't.
Just a bunch of burly men.
I just want proof. I mean, even if I don't come back with any proof, as long as if I knew in my
you could go.
Yeah, if they did experiments on me and I came back and no one believed me, as long as I would know, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, because you'd be like, dude, I already know. I know the answer.
I would think it wouldn't bother me. I would probably get annoyed by it after a while. Guys, I'm serious. I saw aliens. They played with my butt.
Pennington's bringing up aliens again.
There are some people that really, I mean, these are people that they're credible. They have jobs.
That show Unacknowledged.
I know that's not very.
Well, it doesn't help that a lot of the Bigfoot sightings.
Well, I mean, every time there's a Bigfoot,
the backwoods somewhere.
Oh man, I saw him. I swear, and I said, shoot, go. I mean, every time there's a Bigfoot thing.
Don't you think with the free meat, like the free press, that like journalists would be like salivating over breaking these kind of stories?
Well, they are. Okay, so here's the skeptic coming out of you. For example, there's this big mountain over in Vietnam, and there was a farmer just kind of walking around, and he noticed the smallest little crack, like this hole coming out of the mountain, and there was a beam of light. So he thought that was weird. So they ended up going up there, and they found within this mountain a utopia. It was like a rainforest. They say it took 7 days to walk around and explore. I mean, beautiful water. It looked like heaven. It was amazing. In the crack of this little mountain that they had to go down there and explore, nobody knew who was there. My point is, still on this earth, we are discovering shit. I mean, they found a whole area there they didn't even know existed within a mountain. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm on board. Of all the things we talk about, I think I'm the most on board with alien life and everything like that. It is unfortunate there's so many pranks that make you question everything. And
check out Unacknowledged on Netflix. That one's real good.
Yeah.
That one's real good.
Well, I have an article pulled up. It says, it was recent. It was the other day. The former manager of the Department of Defense Aerospace Threat Program, quote unquote, UFOs are real.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's so many. There's story after story.
And you think of it, like now people would be getting out of their
Huffington
job,
Post.
and then they have a certain, I'm sure, a statute of limitation to which they can't talk about anything.
I can't think of the name of the press conference. There's like this famous one. It's on YouTube. I just saw it the other day. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. All these generals, all these military men, all these astronauts on this huge panel, all older dudes. There's a few women there, I believe, that were in the space program, but it looked like a lot of old guys. And they're all like, "Oh, I swear, I saw the alien right next to." I mean, they're all claiming that they have seen alien, and they're all saying the same thing. It's time. We're not quiet anymore.
Yeah, why would they wait? I mean, why would they not do? I mean, why would they do that? I mean, at the end and everything, it's like it has to mean that. And there's multiple astronauts have come out.
Absolutely.
About that stuff.
It's kind of a controversial analogy, but like Courtney Love and a bunch of all these other people were talking trash about Harvey Weinstein for years, and nothing ever came out. And now they're like pulling up old sound bites of like all these celebrities and all these women being like, "Yeah, we were telling you this the whole time. Now you're breaking it." Like,
they're going after everybody.
Everybody.
If you've got if you have awful dirt in your closet, they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So my point is that maybe you can make an analogy that you have former generals, former people who work at the Department of Defense, a guy that flew for the Air Force, and they're like, "Yeah, we sat on panels, we wrote articles about this, and no one wanted it when they actually land."
I mean, things can get buried, as you all know. Bill Cosby got buried. I mean, 2004 people. I just heard another interview. It was with, I forget the name. I can't remember, but they were saying that everybody knew. It was so widespread. When you got into the comedy world, you heard Bill Cosby likes to drug women.
Really?
I mean, for a long time ago. So you're right. You can bury, even in today's day and age. I mean, the Weinstein shit's coming out right now. Mm-hmm. Internet, everything's been out forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's just now breaking. Well, and my point is, what you're saying, power. Yeah. If you've got a lot of power, you can control things for a while.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting perspective for sure.
There is a, speaking of aliens, have you guys heard of the Nordic Alien? The tall, blonde... So people, there's a theory, and I'd like to get Vicki's thoughts on this, that there is an alien-type species walking on Earth right now. They're taller, but you would never know that you're walking next to an alien. They look a lot like a human. The regular human wouldn't be able to tell. They're blonde. They're a little bit bigger. Usually they come in the male species. I know that sounded kind of weird. They come. Well, that sounds even weirder. They are the male species usually. Vicki, are we walking around aliens and we don't know it? Is that possible?
It's a possibility. I mean, but if they're if they look so much like us, how would we even know?
Well, we wouldn't know, but I guess my question to you is...
Well, how did they come up with a theory then?
Because they have told the plan to some people. I'm the Nordic, I come from here, just like how it all starts. Do you think that's possible? Do you think you've worked with an alien? Are they in our everyday life and we don't know it?
Oh, I'd prefer not to comment on whether I've worked with an alien before or a demon.
There you go.
But it's possible.
Not probable for you? You're
not probable, possible, but not probable.
I can tell by your posture. You're not buying that.
No.
Denny's, are we living amongst aliens?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I guess theoretically there could be a race of aliens that came down, and maybe they're in, I guess, the Milky Way galaxy, and they have similar conditions, so they kind of look like us. I mean, that'd be pretty tough.
So you're not.
I mean, they're slightly taller.
It's crazy.
If anything, I would think they're like Neanderthal, who like developed slowly.
Let's see
so
what
they still have height and girth.
What does it say here? How tall are they? So, Nordic aliens are humanoid extraterrestrials. They come from a planet that I can't pronounce.
So if somebody approaches them, it's like, "Yo, are you an alien? Are you a Nordic alien?"
Okay, here's what they are. They're typically 6 to 7 feet tall. So we have humans that are 7 feet tall. They can blend in. They look like humans, but I guess you can, they got powers or some stuff. Wow, I am shocked that I'm losing the room.
Why
on
are they
this one.
chilling? What are they doing? Just chilling?
Why do we have any of this stuff? I mean,
well, I mean, let's get in our craft.
No, I think that they're here to, there's a purpose for it, like any kind of alien.
Like, are they just observing, watching over?
Maybe they're getting resources. Maybe there's a deal with them and the Illuminati. Shit, I don't know.
So where are they indigenous to?
What's the name of this planet?
I just find it weird.
A lot of people think Mark Zuckerberg's an alien.
I've heard that as well.
I'm gonna try to say this. Pleiadius?
Is it clitoris?
No wonder he couldn't find it.
Look at Becky with his yeah. I don't know. I
get it.
You know what? I thought it was interesting. I'll go shit in a hat.
Well, that's because, like, when it comes to aliens, I think, like, 90% can be explained. It's, like, experimental crafts. It's the government. It's fakers. And there's only, like, 10% that I believe is really going on that could be extraterrestrial.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get this Nordic thing out, because I don't think I'm hitting with this. How about just the idea that we are living our lives and there's other people that are aliens, that they look like humans? No, I've already lost that side of the room.
I think with all the stuff going on in the world, they would have intervened by now.
No. You just go doing saying about Harvey Weinstein. That we just now found that out.
I know, but I feel like they would have the power to intervene with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. They're like,
what are they? They're probably waiting. If they probably wait for something much more significant. I know we got a lot of stuff going on in the world.
Maybe we're just a good reality TV show for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a fun theory that they keep our planet around just to watch us.
Yeah,
they are.
We're the Truman Show.
They're supposed to be physically just, gorgeous. They're 6 to 7.
They sound elven to me.
I think I follow a couple of them on Instagram.
Yeah, these just sound like South Beach models.
It sounds like elves.
All right, well, that one didn't go well. Do you guys have any homework? Anything on your mind? What do you guys got?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Yeah, Denny, you always get something weird going on.
Yeah. It's been a busy week.
Don't worry. I got plenty. It's the homework section.
I always have homework, and I can go through the archives here.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to think if I've seen anything recently weird.
Is this how you would handle it in school? Denny, do you have your homework?
I'd be like, I did earlier. I don't want to get into it right now.
Is that if you were in high school and the teacher did call upon you, how would you tell her you don't have your homework?
I usually would be like, I had it earlier. I left and it was in the car. I called my mom, but she didn't answer.
You would have the whole excuse.
Oh yeah, I do like 3 excuses.
Vicki, you're an educator. You must hear excuse after excuse.
Yeah.
Do you have a craziest excuse you've ever heard for not doing something?
No, but I have the cutest story. One day a kid came in and I asked for homework and I said, such and such, where's your homework? He goes, I don't have it.
Nah.
And then I said, okay, well, take out a sheet of paper. I don't have any. And I said, okay, take out a pencil and I'll give you paper. He goes, I don't have one. I'm like, what do you have? He looked up at me, did not skip a beat. He goes, my dignity. That's one of my favorite stories ever.
So do you get stern like that? Are you a yelly teacher?
No. I actually I do cafeteria duty and I don't actually even have to talk. I just go over and I give them the look. And they stop. So I'm more of a look kind of teacher.
Gosh,
I am a screamer.
I used to love elementary public school. Was it public school?
Yes.
I loved public school cafeteria food.
Oh, me too.
Oh my gosh! Back when I was a kid, it was super sliced pizza.
Pizza was on point.
I had it was like Elio's square pizza.
Yes,
it was. It looked a lot like.
Can I get an amen for turkey tetrazzini?
Oh yeah.
With a fresh hot bun.
Did you go locally?
I did. I went to Lake Park Elementary, and the same school Burt Reynolds went to. No big deal.
Oh.
And then I went to Howell Watkins, and then I went to Palm Beach Gardens High School. And as I got older, I didn't like the cafeteria food as much. I remember we ended up getting a salad bar at Lake Park Elementary people lost their shit, man. Like a salad bar, people couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was a big deal back then.
I used to always get the pizza, and then I would do fries with hot sauce and ranch.
Yeah, I would do chocolate milk. I would get my ketchup packet and spread it on the pizza.
Yeah, I'm a big ketchup. Only on shitty pizza I like to put ketchup on.
There's no tomato sauce.
It goes
much.
really, really good together.
And it's sweet.
We talked a little bit about angels before. If an angel came down for a day, you get one question to ask. What do you ask? Now, this is an all-knowing angel.
Knows everything ever.
It knows everything. It knows everything to a point where when it leaves, it's going to another land, another area where it's better, it's more magical, you know. Like typical angel stuff, Denny's. All right, Vicki, go ahead.
I would ask, what is my real purpose here? What
Oh,
am I
she took
supposed
my
to be
answer.
doing?
That's such a good question.
It's interesting to hear you both have that.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you know what your purpose is?
No.
Really? Are you? I find that hard to believe because I could rattle off 9 reasons why you're here.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if there's one specific one that's supposed to rise above all the others.
I think everybody thinks that they have this great movie moment, like destiny thing, and I think that's normal to have, but I would just say, as an outsider looking in, I mean, one of the reasons why I think you're around is to help people. I mean, talking to my mom, I get emails all the time of people, you know, you've helped, or at least, what you know, a naysayer said, no one knows if what Vicki does is real or not. And you're right. I don't know if that's real or not. But the one thing I can say is when people have an experience with you, they feel better. They have a little bit of hope in their heart. I mean, isn't that what we're all going for? Just a little extra hope in the day, in the day?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, right there, I feel like that's a very large purpose.
But then I have that thing where, okay, is that something that I try to make my life so that I can do that full time? Or do I keep doing what I'm doing to earn a living? You know, that kind of thing. It's like, if that's my purpose to help people, do I need to take it to another level where it's actually my career as opposed to a side thing when I can fit it in?
I think when it comes to that stuff, it's got to start with passion. I think you do have passion. I think if you have passion with anything, you could be a shitty singer. If you have passion, I'm not saying you're going to get a deal with Columbia, but you can make
it happen.
You can make somewhat of a living, whether you are traveling and all over the state in bars. I just feel like if you really want to stay in the game with anything, it may take long. You may have to have patience. It may suck for a long time. But I really believe with all my heart you can do whatever you want. It's like Tony Robbins over there.
Yeah, I like it.
Do you know what your purpose is? Do you feel like you know what your purpose is on this planet?
No, I don't. I know that I love life. I love to live life. I do a little with a lot. And I just like to do a lot of little things, you know. And definitely a question that I would ask with what's my purpose is like also how do I leave the world a better place when I leave? I think that I would be on my deathbed a lot more fulfilled.
I'll tell you how you helped the world. You saved some elephants out in Africa.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, that's actually, that's kind of part of it is I started, I have my Instagram handle Beckett, and then I started Beckett List. And Beckett List is like a bucket list item where you tie in a philanthropic reason or purpose. Like if you do a bike ride across the country, like I raise money for a dog rescue. Or if you go to Africa, rather than just go for a photo safari, like how do you go there and also like give back at the same time? So that kind of gives these trips that I do while I'm living life, probably something I would have done anyways, is I try to tie in something that gives it purpose, and that makes it a lot more fulfilling. So I'm almost envious of people that seem like they knew they want to be a doctor or an actor from their little kid. Like I just enjoy kind of floating, but then it also makes me frustrated sometimes because I'm like, wow, I'm over here, and then I'm
Sure.
over.
I think it's a natural emotion. Denny's, do you feel like you know what your purpose is?
It depends on how you define purpose. So if you're talking about
okay,
purpose of life,
yeah.
then no. I mean, it's pretty difficult to say. I mean, we're all kind of just thrown here and no instructions.
So do you feel, or is your thought process kind of like we all make our own purpose, and if you don't want a purpose,
That's what I'm
it's there,
saying.
it's
So
that-
if we're going by how, America works on the Western Hemisphere here, I would say my purpose is to do things that I enjoy in a career that I enjoy and just try to enjoy the time that I'm here.
in the now.
And that would be my purpose. I mean, I'm probably not going to change anyone's lives or anything.
I don't know. Changed my life, kid.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it just depends on how you define it. For like living through how society has been formed over the years and to fall into place, I think I do have my purpose of working in audio.
And you're right, too. It really is. A lot of times I feel like sometimes if you struggle with finding your purpose, society kind of dictates what your purpose should be. I know so many people who did not want to get married and want to have kids at a certain time, but they did it anyway because by 30, you had to be married, you had to have the nice white picket fence, you had to have a good job, and I've never believed in that. I really don't. Since I was a little kid, I've at least identified that everyone's got their own shit going on, their own path, and I think a lot of times people get caught up in that. I think that can breed anxiety.
Well, the way they do things in France are much different than the way they do them in America. Much different from Canada. Much different. They're all different. I mean, some of them you look upon and you're like, man, I really envy how they do that. They take an hour off for lunch. They're guaranteed days off. They have paid, leave when they have a child. Like, there's a lot of cool things in state and other places that maybe work better for you.
Yeah,
than here.
And I think there's some people who do have a family at 25 and get married, and they're living their purpose.
They love it.
And
that's their thing.
Exactly.
I know kids that legitimately wanted to have kids and get married. That was like what they wanted.
A girl I went to high school with, or she went to the high school across the way, wanted to have kids right out of high school. That was her. She wanted to get married. She wanted, and she didn't even like the guy she married. Oh. She really didn't. She just wanted to fill in that box. Okay, got married, got that checked off, got the kid checked off.
Well, so life, like you said, there's no instruction manual to it. There's no actual right way to do anything. We do things that we think is right in order to keep our society together. Absolutely. I mean, they're barring obviously horrific things like murder, anything that hurts people in any way. But I mean, just as far as existing, there's no guidelines. But we're told in school, this is how you do this, this is how you do this, to build us into a systematic way of keeping track of things. And then so when we fall into society, we already prepared for it, more or less, from the school teachings. But like, that's only teaching you just how to do the basics. There's so much you can go out and learn. There's so many things you can think about, read about.
Well, and without getting into a huge political discussion, because I don't like talking politics, but I just noticed seeing even people within their own party, how it's just theories and opinions. That's all it is. And they think their opinion is better than the other. Yeah. And I'm talking on both sides or down the middle or just life.
Yeah, we're at the point now where, I mean, no one backs down at all. There's no backing down on any. Nobody can get to a conclusion, or they can't solve anything
because they think they're right. Their point is more.
There's a point where nobody's going to agree. Then you have to agree to disagree.
Well, how do you handle a situation where both parties cannot stop saying I'm right? No, I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. I mean, that's like a divorce. Yeah. It's a bad divorce right there.
Yeah. It's a
what
jury.
In a relationship, if that happens, what do? You break up and you go your merry way.
Yeah.
There's other things in life you can't do that with. That's why there's fighting.
Absolutely.
I mean, I saw someone on social media. They posted a benign, opinionated, and I get when you post something, you open up the floodgates. You got to take it. But with that said, though, if someone's just giving a mild opinion, and then the next comment is from somebody else, they're like, you know what? I don't agree. I'm done with you. Blah blah blah. It's just like, why you got to be done with the person? Because you disagree?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, people don't appreciate civil discourse anymore, and it's a big problem because
it is.
They lose. You heard conflict resolution, like attack the problem, not the person, and two people get caught up in their own like camp.
We're very emotional creatures, Mr. Beckett.
Yeah.
We are, man.
And they stop. Like a lot of times, they want the same thing. They may have different ideas of how to get there, but it's cliche. But they have more in common than they have different.
Yeah.
Do you have Are you able to control your emotions?
Oh, yeah.
You are? So if you're really just so pissed off and someone in the moment says something or does something, you're able to keep it quiet and not overreact?
I might overreact for like 30 seconds, and then after the 30 seconds, I'm like, hey, so you want to go get a bottle of water or something?
Is that from living and learning, or is that something that's just instilled in you?
I think I've learned it because it's just not worth it. I don't have time for that.
Do you have a problem controlling your? I mean, I know the answer to Denny's. He got his emotions on lock. What about you,
Yeah, no, I'm sometimes too stoic, I think.
Too emotionless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an issue for you.
Yeah. Well,
In
sometimes
love or just in everything?
I think I have like this deep-seated hopeless romantic side, and like I'll get choked up in Lion King, but then like in like everyday situations, like I'm like, man, I wish I cared more. I'm just kind of pretty laid back.
I mean, between you, Denny's, and Kevin, I mean,
Yeah, probably,
you guys are very laid back.
have a chill off.
Oh yeah. I do want to. Let me see real quick. Someone wants us to talk about vampires real quick. They claim that they're a real vampire. They say that there's no way that they're not. They would even come in to prove it. Do you guys want to have this person in?
They're coming to prove it.
They said they would come in to prove it. I wanted to ask
Okay.
you guys before I started inviting vampires to the studio.
On pictures first.
You want pictures? You want a video? I mean, I feel like you could get on the video and go, "I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
I want your blood." I mean, I could do
It's
that.
pretty convincing.
Yeah, I think we got to bring him in here. I think they got to show. Now, my question is, are you really a vampire, or are you a person acting like a vampire, sharpening your teeth? I mean, that's not
you
you're
can't
a poser.
live off blood.
No, you're not a vampire. Now, if you fly around and all that shit, I'll give it to you.
Or I mean, even if you strip away all those and leave it just drinking blood to live, I don't think that's possible. Like you'll die.
I do want to
Right?
say, I do find it kind of crazy that you don't believe in the Nordic alien people, but my man doesn't believe we landed on the moon.
I don't know. Vampires are far-fetched.
I
I think
get-
they're all based on a urban legend from, what was it, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I get probably at least 15 emails a week about Denny's not believing in the moon.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason, man, you saying that the moon landing never happened really pisses people off.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes everybody mad.
Does it? We talked about it one time.
I mean, that's something that somebody could disagree to and like move on with their life. But no,
no,
they yell at me for
they
it.
still want to yell at it.
I catch a lot of flack for that.
We
one.
talked about it on the regular show, and that's when, because people come here for the weird whatever, they know we're talking about crazy
They
shit.
wanna
So
hear it.
it's like going into a comedy club and getting offended. It's like you're going to a comedy club.
Right.
But when you're on the air and, you've got soccer moms driving, you got, 65-year-old dudes driving, Denny's comes in, well, we never landed on the moon.
Oh, dude, that rocked people's worlds.
I mean, people they get so mad. It's so fun. And we also have this text service. And I mean, so people now can think about what if they really want to blast.
They can well
Oh
script
my
it
god!
out.
I mean, there was one I read the other day about me. It looked like the Declaration of Independence. It was so long.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys read all of the mail that you guys get for the most part?
We tried. We have so many forums. We've got Snap.
We got text. Well, you can get us on any social media with a direct message, but we also have an email. We also have text messaging.
I'm really bad at it, just because there was a time where I was trying to write everybody back, and I would write one person back, and then they would write another person back. I have Angelica looking at them sometimes. Weird and whatever I can cover. If it's KVJ stuff, it's really hard.
Right.
We'll talk about something. We'll get emails from a bit 3 weeks ago, and sometimes I can't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm texting Kevin, hey, what did you put on my penis? Well, I think that's all we got today, unless you guys want to add anything. I did want to bring up last thing. Halloween's coming up, obviously. Anybody have any scary movies to recommend? Anyone listening? Someone did want to know recommendations. Anything new?
They want slasher or scary?
Give us both. What do you got?
I recommend Evil Dead 2. It's an awesome flick.
Okay.
That one's kind of campier, slashier. If we're going for scary, I mean, the original Exorcist is by far the best one.
You always talk about that
That
one.
movie's legitimately scary.
Yeah,
It's disturbing.
Is that the one where
It has subliminal messages in it.
is that
too.
the one where the nurse is walking out of that one room?
That's Exorcist like 3 or 4. I think that's 3.
Do you have a scary movie or two, Vicki?
Well, there's one, actually, it's what would be considered a B movie. I've always liked it. It's called Seance, and it's kind of hard to find, but it's about these kids that are in college. The dorm used to be an apartment building, and they decide to have a seance because there is supposed to be a ghost of a little girl, but that's not what they get to come through.
Oh.
So I actually like that one pretty
Way
well.
to tease that. All right. Mr. Beckett, what do you got? I know you don't do the scary
I don't
bitch,
really do
bitch
the
boy
sca-
Beckett.
I don't really do
Even when you were
scary movies.
younger at Halloween parties,
Like, you don't
nobody
know-
put-
You know a movie I liked? Because I
Hey, you cannot say fire in the sky. You
No.
use that one 3 times. You
No,
can't
no,
use
no.
that one.
What Lies Beneath.
Yeah, that was Michelle Pfeiffer.
I love that movie, too.
What Lies Beneath was one of those movies where, and I kind of got a little bit adrenaline rush. It's one of those movies that It's not like slasher, gory, scary.
It's like suspense.
It's yes, suspense and like make you jump.
Yeah, okay.
You ever see Event Horizon?
I did not like that movie. With
God, that movie's
is it with
scary.
Bear? The kid Bear, and he ends up the blonde kid. She's like, Bear's out there. He's gonna die. It's in space, isn't it?
It's in space.
Oh, it's
They
such
found a way to time travel.
shitty movie. Don't watch it. Come on, Denny's Event Horizon. I just
It's got, is it Sam Neill from Jurassic Park? That movie's awesome, man. That one's scary. Watch it.
Should we do anything as a group for Weird and Whatever? Since I feel like we should be shining and
I know. Here, and I'm just gonna be honest with everybody. Me and Denny have been doing this movie, Victims Galore, and we've been doing it for 6 weeks. And
We're on the grindstone.
it is. I mean, these things take so long, and now that we're gonna be doing it in a theater, salespeople are involved. It's just it's a lot of work, and we have had absolute no free time. I'm not trying to be a bitch over here, but I mean, I've had zero personal life. I have not talked to my family. We have literally taken every ounce of our free time to make a very mediocre movie.
People are going to flock by the 7 to see this.
But we've been wanting to do, because we did the one Clowns Have Murderous Ways a while ago, and we literally did that in about 5 days. And
Yeah, we did.
it was not with a very good camera, and we promised ourselves if we ever had a little bit of time, which we don't.
We would spend time and try
and-
to make it boss.
And you talk about bucket list. We just wanted to do a better movie with better equipment.
Get on that IMDb.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to take our credits away if we
they
had any.
They actually might come to our door and kick our ass.
We're going to get a Razzie for this one.
I would just tell our audience that this is kind of a catch-up week, so like we got sent a lot of stuff in like on social media and stuff, so we'll get all that stuff next week.
Yeah,
for sure.
totally. I mean, I'm like I said, I can't. Unfortunately, I love doing this podcast, and if anyone wants to call me out on it, they can completely call me out on it. But I have to do the morning show stuff first, and unfortunately, because we did change our time, shit changes sometimes.
No worries, man. Sometimes things get weird.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, whatever. Vicki, any final thoughts?
No, just continue to be patient. The people who are emailing me, because for a different reason, but I'm busy with band and all that kind of stuff.
You're a mom and you're a teacher, and you got a lot of things. And Denny's, I mean, you got to have a closing thought.
Yeah, send me a Twitter message, guys. I just got
Send
back.
me those snaps.
Send me a joint, man.
So I just got back on Twitter. So if anyone's looking, I took a little hiatus from it, man. There was
On purpose?
Well, it started off unintentional, and then then it became a thing, and I was like, you know what? I've detached.
Yeah, the other thing too, to answer about all the emails. I mean, I have been like Denny said, I've been staying off social media, only because I'm on it a little bit, and I'm on it with the emails, but I wanted to get away from a little bit of the technology and reading up on everyone's drama. I mean, that's all we talk about on the KVJ show is drama, and we talk about
Dirt of the day.
Yeah, we just talk about a lot. I mean, we talk about good, positive things, but we talk about a lot of negative shit too, and a lot of that can go on social media, and then I'll say some bullshit, and then you need a break from that stuff, because anyone thinks that if you're constantly absorbed in social media and you don't think that does have some kind of effect on you, I think you're living in a lot.
Or if you're reading a lot of negative comments or negative things, I mean, you start absorbing some of the negativity.
Yeah. And it's not even negative about me. I was just tired of negativity in general.
Yeah,
Just,
That's
fighting. I mean, I'm used to people saying negative stuff about me or the show, but it just, even when I'm just going on regular Facebook, just saying I love oranges. Fuck oranges, man. I like apples, bitch. It's like everything's a fight.
I know.
It's not, for me, I am usually my environment, and I don't...
That makes sense.
I
I think
like it.
Temperature's hot.
I think vacations of the future, some entrepreneurs are going to come up where you disconnect. Like it's all positive and it's like goes back to like old days, and like you go for like a week and you have no social media, you got no phones, and your boss understands that you're going to this kind of vacation. and
Yeah,
it's just
well, I mean, we're brainwashed. I mean, they're like, if you have a soda at 12:15, you need to tweet about that. I'm like, a soda? Come on.
Right.
You're always trying to, you know how it goes. They always want, something.
And you're
up
trying to
there.
get creative, so you got to separate from the electronics a little bit.
So I just to answer with a long-winded answer, we're just swamped with shit right now. So, and you're right, Mr. Beckett. We should try to do something, maybe. Because the movie premieres on the 28th, we could possibly do something on that Sunday. Maybe a seance. Are you into the seance?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
You'll lead that. I love it.
I'll be there to save you.
Seance. or-
Save me when they try to get me through that portal.
seance. Any live event ideas anyone has? Like that would be awesome too.
Live event's going to be a little tough.
Yeah.
For Halloween. Now,
No, not for Halloween.
Oh yeah. I'm with you. I think November is going to be a lot easier, and we'll get back on a very full Weird and Whatever schedule. But I do appreciate the patience from everybody. Please keep sending stuff in. All the stuff that I have on my little prep sheet right here, all stuff people are sending in. So thank you. Continue to do that. We love you all, and
Bigfoot is real.
What was that? What? What's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn.